Osaka, listen, is a designated city in the Kansai region of Japan. It is the capital city of Osaka Prefecture and the largest component of the Keihanshin metropolitan area, the second largest metropolitan area in Japan and among the largest in the world with over 19 million inhabitants. Situated at the mouth of the Yoda River on Osaka Bay, Osaka is Japan's third largest city by the daytime population after Tokyo's 23 special wards and Yokohama, and serves as a major economic hub. Historically a merchant city, Osaka has also been known as the nation's kitchen, and served as a center for the rice trade during the Edo period. History. Prehistory to the Kofun period. Some of the earliest signs of human habitation in the Osaka area at the Morinomiya ruins comprise shell mounds, sea oysters and buried human skeletons from the 5th–6th centuries BC. It is believed that what is today the Uehonmachi area consisted of a peninsular land with an inland sea in the east. During the Yayoi period, permanent habitation on the plains grew, as rice farming became popular. By the Kofun period, Osaka developed into a hub port connecting the region to the western part of Japan. The large numbers of increasingly larger tomb mounds found in the plains of Osaka are seen as evidence of political power concentration, leading to the formation of a state. Asuka and Nara period. The Kojiki records that during 390–430 AD there was an imperial palace located at Osumi, in what is present-day Higashi-Odagawa ward. However, it seems it may have not been a capital but a secondary imperial residence. In 645, Emperor Kotoku built his Nanawa Nagara Toyozaki Palace in what is now Osaka, making it the then capital of Japan. The city now known as Osaka was at this time referred to as Nanawa, and this name and derivations of it are still in use for districts in central Osaka such as Nanawa and Namba. Although the capital was moved to Asuka in 655, Nanawa remained a vital connection, by land and sea, between Yamato, Korea, and China. Nanawa was declared the capital again in 744 by order of Emperor Shomu, and remained so until 745, when the imperial court moved back to Heijō-kyo. By the end of the Nara period, Nanawa's seaport roles had been gradually taken over by neighboring areas, but it remained a lively center of river, channel, and land transportation between Heian, Kyoww and other destinations. Heian to Edo period. In 1496, Jodo Shinshu Buddhists established their headquarters in the heavily fortified Ishiyama Honganji, located directly on the site of the old Nanawa Imperial Palace. Oda Nobunaga began a decade-long siege campaign on the temple in 1570, which ultimately resulted in the surrender of the monks and subsequent razing of the temple. Toyotomi Hideyoshi constructed Osaka Castle in its place. Osaka was long considered Japan's primary economic center, with a large percentage of the population belonging to the merchant class. Over the course of the Edo period, Osaka grew into one of Japan's major cities and returned to its ancient role as a lively and important port. Its popular culture was closely related to ukiyo-e depictions of life in Edo. By 1780, Osaka had cultivated a vibrant arts culture, as typified by its famous kabuki and bunraku theaters. In 1837, Oshio Higashiro, a low-ranking samurai, led a peasant insurrection in response to the city's unwillingness to support the many poor and suffering families in the area. Approximately 1/4 of the city was razed before shogunal officials put down the rebellion, after which Oshio killed himself. Osaka was opened to foreign trade by the government of the Bakufu at the same time as Hyogo on 1 January 1868, just before the advent of the Boshin War and the Meiji Restoration. Osaka residents were stereotyped in Edo literature from at least the 18th century. Jipponusha Ikku in 1802 depicted Osakans as stingy almost beyond belief. In 1809 the derogatory term, Kamigata Ziroku, was used by Edo residents to characterize inhabitants of the Osaka region in terms of calculation, shrewdness, lack of civic spirit, and the vulgarity of Osaka dialect. Edo writers aspired to samurai culture, and saw themselves as poor but generous, chaste, and public-spirited. Edo writers by contrast saw Ziroku as obsequious apprentices, stingy, greedy, gluttonous, and lewd. To some degree, Osaka residents are still stigmatized by Tokyo observers in the same way today, especially in terms of gluttony, evidenced in the phrase, "residents of Osaka devour their food until they collapse." 19th century. To present the modern municipality was established in 1889 by government ordinance, with an initial area of 15 square kilometers, overlapping today's Chuo and Nishi wards. Later, the city went through 3 major expansions to reach its current size of 223 square kilometers. Osaka was the industrial center most clearly defined in the development of capitalism in Japan. The rapid industrialization attracted many Korean immigrants, who set up a life apart for themselves. The political system was pluralistic, with a strong emphasis on promoting industrialization and modernization. Literacy was high and the educational system expanded rapidly, producing a middle class with a taste for literature and a willingness to support the arts. In 1927, General Motors operated a factory called Osaka Assembly until 1941, manufacturing Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, and Buick vehicles, operated and staffed by Japanese workers and managers. In the nearby city of Ikeda in Osaka Prefecture is the headquarters office of Daihatsu, Japan's oldest automobile manufacturer. Like its European and American counterparts, Osaka displayed slums, unemployment, and poverty. In Japan it was here that municipal government first introduced a comprehensive system of poverty relief, copied in part from British models. Osaka policymakers stress the importance of family formation and mutual assistance as the best way to combat poverty. This minimized the cost of welfare programs. During World War II, Osaka came under air attacks in 1945 by the United States Army Air Forces as part of the air raids on Japan. On March 13, 1945, a total of 329 Boeing B-29 Superfortress heavy bombers took part in the raid against Osaka. According to an American prisoner of war who was held in the city, the air raid took almost the entire night and destroyed 25 square miles of the city. The U.S. bombed the city again twice in June 1945 and again on August 14, a day before Japan's surrender. Etymology: Osaka literally means large hill or large slope. It is unclear when this name gained prominence over Nanawa, but the oldest written evidence for the name dates back to 1496. The name is now written in kanji, but it was written until 1870, when the partisans for the Meiji Restoration changed it, apparently to avoid the second kanji being misinterpreted as meaning samurai rebellion. The older kanji is still in very limited use, usually in historical contexts. But in Japanese the kanji, pronounced han when standing alone, now refers exclusively to Osaka City or Osaka Prefecture. Geography and climate. Geography: the city's west side is open to Osaka Bay, and is otherwise completely surrounded by more than 10 satellite cities, all of them in Osaka Prefecture, with one exception. The city of Amagasaki, belonging to Hyogo Prefecture, in the northwest. The city occupies a larger area than any other city or village within Osaka Prefecture. When the city was established in 1889, it occupied roughly the area known today as the Chuo and Nishi wards. Only 15.27 square kilometers that would eventually grow into today's 222.30 square kilometers via incremental expansions. the largest of which being a single 126.01 square kilometers expansion in 1925. Osaka's highest point is 37.5 meters Tokyo Pale in Tsurumi-ku, and the lowest point is in Nishi-Yodogawa-ku at -2.2 meters Tokyo Pale. Climate: Osaka is located in the humid subtropical climate zone, with 4 distinct seasons. Its winters are generally mild, with January being the coldest month, having an average high of 9.3 degrees Celsius. The city rarely sees snowfall during the winter. Spring in Osaka starts off mild, but ends up being hot and humid. It also tends to be Osaka's wettest season, with the Tsuyu, the rainy season, occurring between late May to early July. Summers are very hot and humid. In the months of July and August, the average daily high temperature approaches 35 degrees Celsius, while average nighttime temperatures typically hover around 25 degrees Celsius. Fall in Osaka sees a cooling trend, with the early part of the season resembling summer while the latter part of fall resembles winter. Cityscape: Osaka's sprawling cityscape has been described as only surpassed by Tokyo as a showcase of the Japanese urban phenomenon. Neighborhoods: Central Osaka is roughly divided into downtown and uptown areas known as Kita and Minami. Kita is home to the Umeda district and its immediate surrounding neighborhoods, a major business and retail hub that plays host to Osaka Station City and a large subterranean network of shopping arcades. Kita and nearby Nakanoshima contain a prominent portion of the city's skyscrapers and are often featured in photographs of Osaka's skyline. Minami, though meaning south, is essentially in Chuo Ward and geographically central within the city. Well-known districts here include Namba and Shinzaibashi, the Dotonbori Canal Entertainment Area, Nipponbashi Denden Town, as well as arts and fashion culture-oriented areas such as Amerikamura and Hari. The business districts between Kita and Minami such as Honmachi and Yodoyabashi, called Semba, house the regional headquarters of many large-scale banks and corporations. Further south of Minami are neighborhoods such as Shinsekai, Tennoji and Tennoji-zu, Abenobashi, and the Kamagasaki slum of Nishinari Ward, the largest slum in Japan. The city's west side is a prominent bay area which serves as its main port as well as a tourist destination with attractions such as Kyocera Dome, Universal Studios Japan and the Tempozen Harbor Village. East Osaka is zoned as a separate city, although the east side of Osaka City proper contains numerous residential neighborhoods including Tsuruhashi Koreatown, as well as the Osaka Castle Park, Osaka Business Park and the hub Kyobashi Station. Osaka contains numerous urban canals and bridges, many of which serve as the namesake for their surrounding neighborhoods. The phrase, 808 bridges of Nanoa, was an expression in Old Japan used to indicate impressiveness and the uncountable. Osaka numbered roughly 200 bridges by the Edo period and 1629 bridges by 1925. As many of the city's canals were gradually filled in, the number dropped to 872, of which 760 are currently managed by Osaka City. Wards: Osaka has 24 wards. Demographics: according to the census in 2005, there were 2,628,811 residents in Osaka, an increase of 30,037 or 1.2% from 2000. There were 1,280,325 households with approximately 2.1 persons per household. The population density was 11,836 persons per square kilometer. The Great Kanto earthquake caused a mass migration to Osaka between 1920 and 1930, and the city became Japan's largest city in 1930 with 2,453,573 people, outnumbering even Tokyo, which had a population of 2,070,913. The population peaked at 3,252,340 in 1940, and had a post-war peak of 3,156,222 in 1965, but continued to decrease since. As the residents moved out to the suburbs, there were 99,775.5 registered foreigners, the two largest groups being Korean and Chinese. Akuno, with its Tsuruhashi district, is the home to one of the largest population of Korean residents in Japan, with 27,466 registered Zainichi Koreans. Dialect. The commonly spoken dialect of this area is Osaka Ben, a form of Kansai Ben. Of the many other particularities that characterize Osaka Ben, examples include using the copula ya instead of da, and the suffix hen instead of nai in the negative of verbs. Politics. The Osaka City Council is the city's local government formed under the local autonomy law. The council has 89 seats, allocated to the 24 wards proportional to their population and re-elected by the citizens every 4 years. The council elects its president and vice president. Toshifumu Tagaya is the current and 104th president since May 2008. The mayor of the city is directly elected by the citizens every 4 years as well, in accordance with the local autonomy law. Toru Hashimoto, former governor of Osaka Prefecture, is the 19th mayor of Osaka since 2011. The mayor is supported by 2 vice-mayors, currently Akira Morishita and Takashi Kashiwagi, who are appointed by him in accordance with the city bylaw. Osaka also houses several agencies of the Japanese government. Below is a list of governmental offices housed in Osaka. In July 2012, a joint multi-party bill was submitted to the Diet that would allow for implementation of the Osaka Metropolis Plan as pursued by the mayor of Osaka City, the governor of Osaka and the party. If implemented, Osaka City, neighboring Sakai City and possibly other surrounding municipalities would dissolve and be reorganized as special wards of Osaka Prefecture, similar to former Tokyo City's successor wards within Tokyo Prefecture. Special wards are municipal-level administrative units that leave some otherwise municipal administrative responsibilities and revenues to the prefectural administration. Politics regarding the use of nuclear energy. On February 27, 2012, 3 Kansai cities, Kyoto, Osaka and Kobe, jointly asked Kansai Electric Power Company to break its dependence on nuclear power. In a letter to KEPCO, they also requested to disclose information on the demand and supply of electricity, and for lower and stable prices. The 3 cities were stockholders of the plant. Osaka owned 9% of the shares, while Kobe had 3% and Kyoto 0.45%. Toru Hashimoto, the mayor of Osaka, announced a proposal to minimize the dependence on nuclear power for the shareholders meeting in June 2012. On March 18, 2012, the city of Osaka decided as largest shareholder of Kansai Electric Power Co. that at the next shareholders meeting in June 2012 it would demand a series of changes. That Kansai Electric would be split into 2 companies, separating power generation from power transmission, a reduction of the number of the utilities executives and employees, the implementation of absolutely secure measurements to ensuring the safety of the nuclear facilities, the disposing of spent fuel, the installation of new kind of thermal power generation to secure non-nuclear supply of energy, selling all unnecessary assets including the stock holdings of KEPCO. In this action, Osaka had secured the support of 2 other cities and shareholders, Kyoto and Kobe, but with their combined voting rights of 12.5% they were not certain of the ultimate outcome, because for this 2/3 of the shareholders would be needed to agree to revise the corporate charter. At a meeting held on April 10, 2012 by the Energy Strategy Council, formed by the city of Osaka and the governments of the prefectures, It became clear that at the end of the fiscal year 2011 some 69 employees of Kansai Electric Power Company were former public servants. Amekudari was the Japanese name for this practice of rewarding by hiring officials that formally controlled and supervised the firm. Such people included the following: 13 ex-officials of the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, 3 ex-officials of the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, 2 ex-officials of the Ministry of the Environment, 16 former policemen, 10 former firefighters, 13 former civil engineers. Besides this, it became known that Kansai Electric had done about 600 external financial donations, to a total sum of about 1.695 billion yen. 70 donations were paid to local governments, to a total of 699 million yen. 100 donations to public service organizations, 443 million yen. 430 donations to various organizations and foundations, a total of 553 million yen. During this meeting some 8 conditions were compiled that needed to be fulfilled before a restart of the number 3 and number 4 reactors or nuclear power plant. The consent of the local people and government within 100 km from the plant. The installation of a new independent regulatory agency. A nuclear safety agreement. The establishment of new nuclear safety standards. Stress tests and evaluations based on these new safety rules. Economy. The gross city product of Osaka in fiscal year 2004 was 21.3 trillion yen, an increase of 1.2% over the previous year. The figure accounts for about 55% of the total output in the Osaka prefecture and 26.5% in the Kinki region. In 2004, commerce, services, and manufacturing have been the 3 major industries, accounting for 30%, 26%, and 11% of the total, respectively. The per capita income in the city was about 3.3 million yen, 10% higher than that of the Osaka prefecture. MasterCard Worldwide reported that Osaka ranks 19th among the world's leading cities and plays an important role in the global economy. The GDP in the Greater Osaka area is $341 billion. Osaka, along with Paris and London, has one of the most productive hinterlands in the world. Historically, Osaka was the center of commerce in Japan, especially in the Middle and pre-modern ages. Nomura Securities, the first brokerage firm in Japan, was founded in the city in 1925, and Osaka still houses a leading futures exchange. Many major companies have since moved their main offices to Tokyo. However, several major companies, such as Panasonic, Sharp, and Sanyo, are still headquartered in Osaka. Recently, the city began a program, headed by Mayor Junichi Seki, to attract domestic and foreign investment. The Osaka Securities Exchange, specializing in derivatives such as Nikkei 225 futures, is based in Osaka. The merger with JASDAQ will help the Osaka Securities Exchange become the largest exchange in Japan for start-up companies. According to global consulting firm Mercer, Osaka was the second most expensive city for expatriate employees in the world in 2009. It jumped up 9 places from 11th place in 2008 and was the 8th most expensive city in 2007. However, it was not ranked in the top 10 places of the list in 2013. The Economist Intelligence Unit ranked Osaka as the second most expensive city in the world in its 2013 cost of living study.